Hey, it's Time Out with Michael, and we're live with Midlife Vibes.
What's
How are
going
you?
on?
Oh, we are so close. How many days for you? 3?
No,
2?
we're leaving on Wednesday.
Oh,
6
2
in the
days.
morning. 6 in the morning, we drive to the airport. So yeah, we're almost there.
I'm so excited. We have 4 days, I think, is what my countdown says.
Wow, 4 days. What day are you flying in?
Saturday morning at 5. So we fly out a red-eye flight, 11 p.m. on Friday night. We'll get in there Saturday like at 5:30.
Is that the way to do it?
That was the cheaper version to get in there. So
Yeah, because I could never find those red-eye flights are never cheap from coming out of over here. I don't know why, or maybe just on the days we're going, it's not that way.
not that way.
Or I guess they don't even have a red-eye on the day we're going. I don't know.
Man, I'm glad I'm not flying Southwest right now. Holy cow.
Oh yeah, wow, that's drama over there.
Kind of plays into what we're going to talk about tonight. So we're going to talk about customer service tonight. I hope everybody's going to enjoy this. Some of my friends said, "Hey, get back to the podcast format." They like that, so that's how we're gonna play tonight out.
God, what friends would say that?
That's kind of my forte. So we're gonna play podcast tonight.
Okay.
So much fun. So customer service. I invited you on here because I know that you dapple into customer service and you see both ends. And I think that I see both ends too, because I'm part of customer service.
Mm-hmm.
And I find myself pulling back a lot of times. Michael Riley, thanks for joining. Kevin Hernandez, thanks for joining. But I just, I know that what I have to do as far as a customer service representative in the field that I work in, but I also understand the back end of it and how I should treat people as far as customer service goes. So I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I mean, who's paying the bills? The customer is, right? So now people mistake giving good customer service and the customer's right to be a complete, the customer's not always right. I would have to say that.
Right.
And that's like I think a lot of people say, well, I'm the customer, I'm right no matter what. Well, no, there's rules. There's all sorts of things with whatever you're at that, just because you're the customer doesn't mean you have the right to, I mean, maybe you do have the right to be a jerk sometimes, I guess, but it depends, I guess I'd say.
I think it does. I think it, as we talk about this, so we're going to, again, dive into it on 2 different levels. We're going to talk about what I think a lot of the standards are for customer service and what people want you to do when you're in the customer service business. That includes your employer, your boss, your group that you work with, but also on the flip side of that, when you go in and you're asking for things as a patron or as a customer, how do you act towards those people? So, yeah. So I think, one is, when you're providing customer service to people, clear communication. It's key. It is essential to customer service. You need to know what the customer wants and be able to articulate what you can do for the customer, and enunciating, speaking loudly enough, and employing an upbeat tone will help you communicate with your customers, and positively as well. Communication is key when you're providing customer service. And I think, if you're talking on the phone or you're writing an email or doing that, you have to be able to provide that upbeat attitude within your email, within your text message, within your that kind of stuff. It's hard to portray that when you can't see the emotion or hear the emotion within a text message or an email, because I know that's kind of huge right now in communication in businesses now. It didn't used to be like the text messaging thing. It's like, oh, sorry, that's not a clear-cut communication thing, but it's pretty much a thing now. But I think that's, again, communication is huge.
Well, and I think, with the texting and the email stuff, like, you have to not assume, because sometimes when I text, I'm usually brief and to the point. So
Mhm.
that doesn't mean I'm rude or being a jerk or saying something like that. So you have to be careful not to assume that the person is saying something or communicating it in a way that you have to be careful how you interpret it, I guess you could say.
Correct.
With some things. I mean, with some things, it's just general statements or whatever communication. I need to order 50,000 units of this, no big
Mhm.
deal. But like if it's with an issue, maybe they're having an issue and, the wording or whatever you might take it, why would they tell me that? Or why would they say it that way? And it's like, but maybe they didn't say it that way. Maybe that's just the way it looks when it's typed out,
Right.
because you could say something when you're face to face, like I can say, ha, I can say it with a smile and this and that, and it's going to come across differently than if I were to say it like, rah, 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 rah. Well, when you're texting or emailing, we have no idea how you're saying it, So
Absolutely.
I think being able to interpret how people are communicating to you is very important, and to not instantly make a judgment or decision on how that communication is without finding out more stuff, I guess you'd say, which is part of communication.
Communication. Absolutely. And that's, verbal communication, written communication, uh, positivity, emotional, intelligence. Make sure you use the proper grammar, spelling, choose those words when you're doing those things. But yes, I mean,
Yeah.
it's, I think people sometimes take it personally, rather than, again, like, oh, wait a minute, they're trying to convey a message,
And
on things. So on the
yeah,
flip side of that,
I was gonna
like,
say, and part of communication though is listening.
yes, yes,
You
that'll be the
the
next one,
flip
but
side?
don't.
Oh,
I know, it's all right. So okay, so we talk about communication. Let's flip it on the other side. You understand how you need to communicate to a customer when you're going in as a customer. How do you, if that person, like, let's just say you go into a Wendy's and you're ordering the food, what, and then they're not. Oh, she's barking.
trying
um,
to communicate with you.
yeah, positively. If you walk into a restaurant or a business and you're like saying, I have 4 people, and I got 2 kids and one's with a high chair, I need a high chair, and the person just isn't grasping what you want. How do you take that? I mean, are you like, okay, you're dumb, let's, let's go, come on, or are you patient with them?
So I'm more on the patient side. I work in the service industry, so I think everyone should actually work in some sort of service industry, whether it be retail, restaurant, something where you're serving people or have customers, or because it depends. Like I'll give you an example. Like we went to Not Scary Farm recently, and we went to TGI Fridays, and they're super busy, but the service was just very horrible. But when you come to find out, they weren't able to hire enough people, and so they're trying to work with the people they have. And the guy that was helping us, this is at 7 at night. He started his shift at 7 in the morning. So, yeah, things might be a little off kilter. Am I going to blame him because he has to, instead of bussing 6 tables, he's bussing 12 tables. He's worked a 12-hour shift. I'm on the end of that shift. You know, he's being overworked, obviously, but because of the lack of help there. But what are you going to do? So I'm not going to blame him, and I'm not going to, at first I might have been a little, oh my gosh, this is taking forever. But then when I realized what's happening, and just through communicating with the guy, and the guy's communicating with us, I realized, okay, I'm going to take it easy, because of the situation. It's not his fault,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
And so I do expect good customer service, especially if I'm the customer and I'm paying. I want good customer service, but we also have to be reasonable and not just jump to conclusions. And now, obviously, if I was at a fine dining establishment paying $300 a plate, I would demand customer service. I was at a TJI Fridays at happy hour, so
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not eating gourmet food, and you know what? And because of the situation, I understand that there wasn't enough help. Now, and I don't even blame the managers, because in this day and age right now, it's, you read all over the papers, or read papers, you look on the internet, the computer, and you see how hiring is a problem right now. So don't you be I just my advice to everyone is be patient with the people who are helping you, because they're probably, most of the time, they're probably trying.
Yeah, absolutely. And they might have worked a double shift. They might have just, they're getting at their end of the shift. Maybe something's happening at home where they're having to come to the shift. Copamelo, thanks for joining. Kiko, hey, how are you? Thanks for joining.
What's up, guys?
Do you think it's changed in with COVID? We continue to bring that up because it's still very relevant in our in our face in our society. Do you think it's customer service? Do you think people coming to you um, have changed their ways again because they know? I mean, here's the thing: supply and demand is ridiculously out of whack. The demand for things is very high, and the supply for things are very low.
Yeah.
Like you said, no one wants to work, no one can work. It's a combination of both. Um, do you think that has changed with the pandemic?
Oh, I mean, night and day versus pre-pandemic. I mean, even if you look at over time, customer service has kind of taken a weird turn, but just recently, people have lost their dang mind recently. There is no patience out there whatsoever. It seems like, not everybody, I'm generalizing, of course, but I've seen more acts of no patience from the customer side, and then from the employee side too. You know, they're not afraid to say or to kind of react to that, where maybe back in the day they were more afraid of to react to it and be like, oh, no, okay, it's, I'm just not gonna, I'm sorry, and don't get me wrong, we probably most of the time people would say, I'm sorry, well, how can I help you, and this and that. But I think the younger generation, the cashiers out there, the drive-through window taker, they're more than likely, if you're going to treat them bad, they probably treat you bad too.
Yeah.
But I've seen a lack of patience from a lot of people. I mean, just go on social media and just look at all the videos out there. Maybe it's always been out there and we just didn't have it on video before, but it seems like people are losing their mind a lot quicker than over little things. Like you said, oh, you're out of chicken nuggets. Oh my God, there's somebody throw everything on the floor. It's like, what? Why? They're out of chicken nuggets. Okay, they ran out. Somebody came and got all the chicken nuggets. Who cares? Or
Yeah.
whatever the case is. But I definitely think being cooped up has, I don't know, like, have people forgot how to act when they go out sometimes, or have employees forgot how to work? It's tough.
I think I have my own take on that. That's like a whole nother spin-off on another episode. And I think the younger generation has I think that the younger generation is hiding behind the screen, your cell phone, your tablet, your computer,
Well,
and they don't know how to communicate with people anymore.
then I would say, though, on the flip side of that, if you're an employer and you provide proper training and you provide a fun, exciting place to work, a place that doesn't treat their people like crap, or overwork them or not recognize them, then I think you're going to get employees who are bad. I mean, if you look at places that treat their people better, the majority, it's not always perfect formula, but the majority of those people are going to be happy to help you. If you go to In-N-Out, I don't know if they treat them right in and out or they just pay them very well, but they're always really happy over here. I've been to different, like, you go to different McDonald's per se. Some McDonald's, they're great, and some McDonald's are not. And I'm assuming that stems from the leadership in those buildings.
Oh
Because,
yeah, absolutely.
the process is all the same in all those places, right? They all have the
Hmm.
same process for everything, from scheduling to ordering to how they help customers, everything. So why would there be a difference in personalities? And it's not just one, it's like the establishment. So that stems from the top down, I think. And so I really think there's some apples you can't save and you have to throw them out, right? But there are
Absolutely.
some some bad apples that you might be able to turn around with the right environment and with the right coaching and training and teaching, and communication. Like, young people might not understand why we do things, but by explaining to them why and how things work and stuff, or anybody, they're going to maybe, oh, that's why you do it this way. I mean, have you ever had it happen at work where you're doing something where they're like, why don't you do it this way? Why are you doing it that way? That doesn't make sense to me. What's going on? And then after you explain to them the whole process or exactly why, maybe safety reasons, whatever it is, they're like, oh, I get it now. But if you never communicate that to them, then they're just going to go on thinking these guys are dumb. They're doing it wrong. They're not doing it the right way.
I agree. And I think it starts at the top, like you said. Be a good boss and let it trickle down. Make them enjoy where they work. If it's work. It's not wonderful every day. There are these problems. There are the stuff, but just make it enjoyable. I try to make my days enjoyable for my crew as much as I can, because I know it's work, but try to do that.
Yeah, it's and not everyone's going to be a perfect employee, and not everyone's a perfect boss, but it's work is work. We're getting paid to do something, and we've chose to work there, so we got to do the job, right? And but on the flip side, we can make that job more enjoyable for people, and that's important too. I mean, especially in this day and age where, over here anyway, there's a plethora of jobs available for people. Like it's everywhere. There's jobs everywhere. So if you're not treating somebody right, or if they're not happy, they can just jump ship and just go to the next place.
Yep.
So if
Their
you're not being
audio. See you later.
competitive or whatever, yeah. So, and it might not be the same everywhere, but over here, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
And so you really, if you want to retain people, and my belief is, happy employees will equal happy customers.
That's right. It shows. And that goes into the thing here, listening skills. Listening skills are just as important as communication skills.
And
but
I think they're the same.
They're the same. Listen carefully to your customers. Know exactly what they need. How can you help them? Demonstrate that you're actively listening. You can't just be over there and, and you're distracted. You actively listen to them. That includes body language and your responses. If you're just, again, not paying attention, but you said you're really, you're doing this, you're not listening. Nod when you understand something. Make eye contact. Don't be afraid to clarify a question if you don't understand, or you understand the person. Make sure that they know. An important aspect of customer service is simply making the customer feel heard. Again, the customer is not, like you said in the beginning, customers are not always right, but you need to make sure that they know you have heard them. If they feel as though they've been heard, whether they're right or wrong, I think that they'll react a lot better to them knowing they've been heard, rather than just dismissing them, or again, not listening to them. When you're talking on the phone, whether it's face to face, however, don't interrupt them. Let them talk, let them get what they need to say out before you respond. And again, nonverbal communication, open-mindedness, courteous, insightful questions. Those are all things a part of the listening skills that, again, roll right into communication skills as well.
Yeah. And when you're, remember, like, you're working at work, you've probably heard these questions over and over again, or these, whatever the thing they're telling you, the customer's telling you, you've probably heard it. It's probably a scenario you've gone through before most of the time. So it's easy to get distracted or be bored with that conversation really quick, or not making eye contact, or doing something else, or writing something down while they're talking, where they're not thinking you're listening to them. So like you said, active listening, like paying attention, eye contact, that type of stuff, nodding, so then you can, and then when you communicate back to them, you articulate what they said to you, so they know you understood what was said. So if they're telling you something, kind of paraphrase it back to them, so they know you get what was being said before you give your answer or your response, or whatever type of communication it is. You should always do that. So so they know you're hearing them, and you're not misunderstanding them. So if you are, then they can correct you. And if they correct you, don't be offended. You just misunderstood it. That's all. It's just a misunderstanding. You didn't get it. And vice versa with them too.
So Juan says, happy, he always off on a tangent. Happy wife, happy life. Don't forget. Kiko says, happy spouse, happy house. Yeah, it's happy spouse, happy house. We're included too, Juan.
Yeah. And with And with everything, I mean, yeah, it's in, you don't know, so yeah, it's definitely happy spouse, happy house. I mean,
Listen, now we're going to flip it on the other side. When you're trying to get something across to someone, uh you feel like everybody's been listening to you as you're a customer now, or do you feel like they're not hearing it anymore, they're just dismissing you?
wait, what?
So I'm going to flip that over. So I wanted to talk about, as us, we're in the,
Okay.
the service retail business.
Yeah.
We're trying to listen to our customers as they
Yeah.
talk about it. What now? Flip side. Now you're coming in as a customer trying to say, "Hey, I'm not happy. This is
Yeah.
not going right." Do you feel as though the customer service industry is still doing this? They're listening, they're articulating, or they're just dismissing everybody?
Uh, depends on where you go, but there's a lot of dismissing going on. Again, it depends on the. I think it also depends on. It shouldn't. I mean, the service you get should be the same no matter where you go. It should always be good service. You're paying for a service, but it goes back to, why are they dismissing you, or why are they acting the way they're acting? Are they overworked? Are they having a bad day? What's the reason? But I do want. I mean, I'm not the easiest customer out there, even though I'm in the service industry, but I'm not going to berate somebody. I'm not going to accuse them of things that I have no idea about their life, you know, and call them names or anything like that.
Yeah.
I would never do that. But I'm more of a I will look up and quote policy and procedure that I know of their place, and or what I expect. Like, if I order food and the menu says it comes with all these things, well, I kind of want all those things. I'm one not to probably send back food because I really don't want my food to come back with a little extra in it, something bad. But I'm the way I here's how I if you give me bad customer service, I just don't go to your establishment anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not one to make a big fuss then and there, unless I'm like losing out or something on money or something. But if I go to a restaurant and the service is pretty crappy and the food's not that great, well, then I probably will just never go there. There's a few restaurants by the Orange Circle, near where we live, where I will never go there again. For them, funny. There's a gas station that was by where we live, and it had the cheapest gas. And across the street, there was a gas station that the gas was like a couple cents more always. That one gas station rented U-Hauls, and you go online and you rent a U-Haul. It's 24 hours. So I did it, and I went to that place, and they said, "Okay, make sure you have the U-Haul back in 4 hours." And I go, "No, it says 24 hours." They're like, "Nope, 4-hour contract at this place." And I said, "Nope, online it says 24 hours." And they're like, "Nope." And so I was like, "Okay, well, they got the owner of the place, the gas station. I know his name. His name was Brad. I'll remember it. This is literally like 15, 16 years ago. And he was like, "Nope, 4 hours." You know why they're doing that? Because there's a demand for U-Hauls in the area. But that's not what U-Haul was selling me online. So I got in touch with the U-Haul customer service rep. They're like, "No, they have to do it, this and that." And I went back and forth for hours. And I already knew I wasn't going to rent the U-Haul from them afterwards. I mean, I paid for it online, but they're refunding my money. And they're like, "Fine, we'll do it for 24 hours." And then I was like, "Well, how do I know you're not going to charge me every 4 hours?" And I go, "You know what? I
Yeah.
don't even want your stinking U-Haul anyway." But guess what? I used to buy gas from that place every single week, multiple cars. So for years, and still to this day, I will go to the gas station across the street, and that's where I get my gas, and I will not get it from there. I mean, we're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of business that place will never get again because of their lack of customer service. All they do is say, "Well, usually we do it this way, but you know what? Since it's being offered like this, and we're part of this company, we have to do it."
It's amazing. It's amazing. I feel like I agree. Everybody should work in customer service at one point in their life, um, to understand what it's like. I think that you. Oh boy, it's so hard because I feel like when I come down to visit you guys, there's millions of people in your area. When you're in little small town USA Evanston, you know everybody.
Yeah.
So I feel like in customer service, when you go to the restaurant and the waitress is having a bad day, and um, they tell you, "Well, this is my livelihood. You need to give me a tip. You need to help me out. This is how I survive." You chose customer service. You chose this industry. You know what it entails to get a tip. You have to, you have to do the duties to get the tip. Now, I am a very, very good tipper. I believe in tipping people. I believe it's a thing. You should take care of them. But I can tell you, I am the very first person. If you treat me like garbage, your tip will cease to exist, and it will be very small. There's only been 2 times in my life I can actually recall where I did not give a tip, and I went up to that person. I wasn't afraid to say it. Um, Probably embarrassed the rest of the group with me, but I told them, look, you completely ignored us. There is no way you should be doing this, and you don't get a tip from me. Like it was horrible. Probably the worst customer service I've ever received, and the second time that I didn't even pay for the food. I got up and walked out, and I really wasn't afraid to not to do that, because it it was bad. When I come down to places like, with you guys, or I'm vacationing outside of Evanston, um, I try to really look at how they perceive themselves in customer service. Did they come to my table, or you know did they greet me at the hotel room type of thing? It's all about how they act, and how they do those things is how I look at the customer service in that realm. But it's amazing that it's amazing. A lot of these, you can tell when you work in customer service who's genuinely having a bad day, or someone who's just entitled, and I don't want to work. I don't even know why I'm here, but you owe me $10 tip for my services of providing you food and stuff. Yeah, sorry. I can see through the BS a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, especially in a tipping industry, you really have to provide that service. I mean, even if you're not totally the best at it, I mean, a smile goes a long way. Or an apology for the time. You know what? I'm sorry, we're really busy here tonight. The kitchen's backed up right now. We'll get you your stuff as soon as we get. Just a little communication goes a long way. Does it? You know. But if you take my order and then an hour and a half later I get my food with nothing in between, then yeah, that's pretty bad. But if you take
yep,
my order and an hour and a half later I get my food, but you've been communicating to me the whole time, then okay, I'm going to be more understanding as long as it's a reasonable reason why it took so long, it's not the waiter's fault if the kitchen's short staffed, or if
yeah,
the restaurant's short staffed, or whatever the case is. It's not their fault, or it's not the cashier at the grocery store's fault if they cut back payroll and the budget's short and they only allowing one cashier and that's it. And I don't blame that person for
yeah,
having to have a long line. They're doing their job. They're ringing people up.
yep.
So always look at that. But if they're not short staffed and they just don't tell you anything and they just leave you there hanging, well, it's my job to assume that you're probably not good at your job.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Which leads into my next thing, self-control. Um, when you're in the customer service business, you have to have self-control, especially now. Now in the world that we're in, you have to have self-control. People working customer service need to be able to calmly handle all customers, even the most negative ones. You must strive to remain calm and cool. Seriously, if you don't, it's bad. Even when the customer is like in your face, screaming, pointing, spitting at you. Hopefully they're not doing that, but you have to remain calm. Patience and self-control will keep you from getting upset and saying inappropriate things. Oh my goodness, this is something that was in in my beginning customer service 20 years ago. I had to learn so very hard, and I've learned the hard way over 20 years of what it can bring when you are not under control. And when you say something inappropriate, I mean, it's like the drop of a, I mean, it's like everything good you did is boom right out the door. It's gone instantly. And so self-control, you have to have that. And just it's got to be there. But it is much harder, I feel like, in the world today, if you don't work in the service industry, if you don't work in customer service, retail, food, stuff like that, you don't understand the supply and demand. And people, I think they're getting better. I think they're getting better to understand what's going on, but you still have those people that are self-entitled jerks that still just don't get it and just think that the world still should revolve around them, whether we can get it or not. The car industry is huge right now of not having any cars. They can't manufacture a door. They can't manufacture a steering wheel, which puts the whole line of, a Fiat behind. Got 20,000 Fiats to be built, but they can't manufacture the steering wheel
Well,
or
look, I
the
ordered my
radio
car in
knob.
September. I'm not going to get it till November. So, I mean,
It's just, and it's a trickle effect. It's not. It's just, and it is in everything. It is in everything that we're doing, and it seriously just is so hard on us that I feel like those that us are working, we're doing everything we can to provide everything we can to make it a good experience for you, like it was before.
well, I think too many people who working or customers by either one, they're too prideful and they're too, I can't be wrong, like, or I won't back down. You know what? There's nothing wrong with walking away. It shows you're the smarter person. Instead of engaging in the tactics of the person who's screaming at you, yelling obscenities and calling you names or whatever, what, you're gonna do that right back to them? What does that do for you? Nothing. I mean, it just shows you're just as small of a person as they are.
Yeah.
And vice versa. It doesn't mean you have to tolerate it,
Right.
but it doesn't mean you need to engage in it.
Absolutely.
You should just, especially in customer service, you should be able to de-escalate situations. With police, with anything, with everything, you should be able to go into it with a de-escalation in mind versus, someone says, oh, customers wants to talk to the manager, wants to complain. And then the manager walks up, I'm ready for battle. Well, you've already lost, man. You've already lost.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, what's going on? What's happening, man? How you doing? It should be open. It should be relaxed. Your body language is gonna set the. I got a little gnat flying around here. Is gonna set the tone for the conversations that's about to happen. It really does. Like a relaxed, just, and it doesn't always mean the person's gonna de-escalate, but there's a chance.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Carla says she took the car in to get service this morning at 8 o'clock. She had an appointment. She had to start work at 8:30. She was never acknowledged till 8:25. Asked 3 people what's happening, and finally she was able to get in at 8:40. But no one said anything about anything. They didn't, hey, sorry, apologize. They just went along their business, and there are a lot of places like that right now.
You know what, the car industry, though, they know they got you. They got you because
Yeah.
what are you going to do? You can, there's a few mechanics out there, but if you're going to a dealer and maybe you don't have as many of those dealers around you, what are you going to do? You're stuck. I'm lucky I have a friend that's a mechanic. So when the dealer said, blah, 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 I just go over there, but it's like with buying cars too. They know they got you. That's why they're marking up the cars, because they got you.
Yeah.
But it's supply and demand. They have a right to get you too, because they need to make their money too.
Yeah.
But when it comes to customer service, though, I think they could do a much better job. But they, what do they care? They got a line of cars coming in for service. They're going to make that money. The problem is they might not realize you're not coming back, and little by little, you're going to chip away at their business. It's going to be you this time. It's going to be the other guy the next time, and somebody else the next time. And little by little, their service revenue is going to go down till eventually somebody notices and goes, oh crap, why are our numbers lower than the other dealer?
Yeah. It eventually catches up to you. It eventually catches up to you.
Oh,
and it trickles within your business. If you're like a car dealership and you have you have service, and then you have parts, and then you have sales, it eventually trickles into everything. If you're working at a, I don't know, what else could you do? Convenience store, gas, and convenient stuff inside. Eventually people stop coming and getting gas, and then that means they stop coming and getting convenient stuff. It's a trickle effect. It'll take away everything.
Yeah. That's how businesses go out of business. I mean, obviously there's some bad business choices, location, stuff like that. But if you have a good business and then all of a sudden, over a course of a year or 2 or 3 years, it starts to dwindle away. Well, something happened to make that dwindle away. If you're not deep diving into trying to figure out why or what happened, but people are, and I always tell people this too. I go, when I talk to other people in the industry and stuff, and I always say, the first thing you got to do is look at yourself and your team. You look there first, and you be open and honest with yourself and see if it's you and your team first, because that's the root that causes all these problems most of the time.
I think
you got to be honest with yourself, and people struggle with being honest with, that can't be me.
Yeah. I've always run under the thing that it starts at the top. The people below you are a direct reflection of you. You've trained them, you've taught them, you show them what to do, what not to do. I mean, it trickles right down. And if the problem's there, it's, you got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I gotta change some things. So if reverse now, do you get angry? Do you have self-control when somebody's not taking care of you? So like for instance, for Carla, did you get pissed off? Did you yell at them? Were you upset? Were you like, this is ridiculous? I mean, what about you? Like, do you?
Yeah. So even recently, because I'm in the market for a car and I finally ordered one because there's nothing on the lots. But when I went to one of the Toyota dealers, I parked my car and I'm looking at some of the cars on the lot, the style that I think I'm kind of want, but it's not really what I wanted. But I was looking, and I can see 3 salesmen over there just talking, and they're just chatting. They see me. They're not approaching me. So then I'm like, okay. So I start to walk to the building, because I'm just going to go inside the building and find me a salesman inside there, because these guys aren't acknowledging me. But right when I get to the door, one of them yells out, "Oh, hey, you need some help?" And I go, "I was wondering if you guys were even working here." So I got a little smart mouth with them, but they work on commission. So I was like, yeah, I didn't think you guys were going to want to help me, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. And then he starts working with me a little bit, but it left a bad taste in my mouth. So I really didn't want to deal with that, but I know how the dealers are. And if once a salesman approaches you, that's it. You're tied to them for life pretty much. And I mean, you can get somebody else, but they don't want to help you because now they're screwing over their buddy. But it left a bad taste. So I did end up going back to that dealer. I didn't buy a car from them, but when I took Becky to go look at the cars, I went back and I didn't see that guy. And some other guy was really nice, approached me right away. He was an older gentleman, just really friendly and really nice. And I was like, okay, this is the guy I want to be talking to. Well, I saw that other guy and I was like, I'm not telling this guy that guy helped me. No way. I'm going with this guy. And if that guy comes out and approaches, I say, no, I don't like you. I'm going with this guy. Because I'm going to drop 40 grand. I'm not going to be dealing with a guy that I don't like.
Yep.
But unfortunately, that guy wasn't able to get me the car I wanted, and I had to go somewhere else that was able to get me something. But but that showed the difference. I would have bought the car from that guy if they had what I wanted with the price I wanted, just because he was super nice. I know he's being a little fake because he's a salesman. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to be fake. They're supposed to act like they're getting you the best deal in the world. The other guy was a little more arrogant, a little more cocky, and didn't even help me at the beginning. So I was like, oh, bad taste in my mouth. I don't want this guy, helping me.
Yeah. I had an experience today and I had to really watch my self-control again. I'm in the customer service industry. So I don't know what's going on. I had to change 72 passwords today. It was a lot of fun. Not really. But one of my accounts got hacked and I had to change some information. And when I called in to this place, I said, hey, I need to get a new account. I need to get a new card coming. And the first lady was like, yeah, let's get you taken care of. Let's get you over here. Let's get, everything's taken care of. We'll get all this taken care of. You don't have to worry about it. I got transferred to the next representative. As I got there, I waited 25 minutes till I got to that person. When I finally got on, explained them what was going on. They knew, and they said, well, it's going to take 7 to 10 business days before we can get this taken care of. And I'm like, no, I have to go on a trip on Friday. So I need you to expedite this whole thing like in 2 or 3 days, not business days, days. and they're like, oh, sorry, we can't do that. And so I caught myself getting very frustrated and wanting to like mother effer, da, 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 I was getting upset, and I had to, calm down. I understand it wasn't, she didn't know what was going on. Can I have your supervisor? Can we find somebody that can help us out? She did find somebody. They did help her out. She didn't realize that. We got it straightened away. Things are taken care of. But I again, had to remember that self-control of like, maybe it's not her fault that, these people hacked into my stuff. It's not her fault that I had to go change all this stuff and things weren't working in a way. But she was very, very good about it. And, she understood my frustration, and she was very appreciative of my, kind manner. And I was stern. I kind of got a little bit upset, but she was, she took control of the situation and calmed me down, made sure it was taken care of. So,
it also, I think you have to be able to admit when you're wrong too. So you came off on the wrong foot, not you, the other person, let's say, comes off on the wrong foot, doesn't really know what they're talking about, maybe gives some misinformation, blah, blah, blah. They get corrected. They get told, okay, no, this is what you're supposed to do. This is that. They got to be able to be like, oh, I'm so sorry, but some people are so stubborn. They like, it doesn't matter. They were wrong. They want to stand their ground. It's that pride thing again. It's like, no, man, it's okay. We all make mistakes, even as a customer. If I make a mistake as a customer, I think your return policy is this when I go shopping at that Target or Walmart or wherever, and I expect this and that and my money back, and they show me that I'm wrong. I go, okay, I'm wrong. I back down. But some people won't, right? Some people just keep going, no, you policy change. No one notified me. Well, somebody has to notify you, like what? Like, no, but like, it's like, be reasonable. Both sides, be reasonable.
Yep.
Leads
me into my next thing. Have a positive attitude. It goes a long way in customer service. Make sure you know all of the benefits of your products, your services, what your company provides, to convey them to your customers. If customers have a problem with product, service, focus on what you can do to help them. Positive attitude. The more positive you are to them when they're coming to you with frustration and things that aren't working, the better off it's going to be. While you don't want to seem overly happy, I think you have to be proactive and optimistic to help that customer stay positive too. If you do that, you flip the script. You now own that situation. You now can provide them to not go off the deep end, not be upset. Again, especially in customer service now with things the way they go. So positive attitude.
Yeah, it's easier to be mad at a jerk than a happy person. So if as a customer, for me, if I'm having an issue and I need to speak to the manager or the supervisor or whatever, or even talk to the person I'm talking to, if they're a jerk, it's easier for me to come back and be a jerk right back to them.
Yeah.
But if they're being compassionate and they're concerned for whatever my issue is, or they approach me in a very positive way, then it's going to be harder for me to continue to be a jerk. Now, I know for some people, it's not a problem. They'll just continue to be a jerk. But if you're going to come at me really nicely and with concern and positive, then my demeanor is going to change, and I'm going to be more willing to understand why this happened or whatever happened, whatever the issue is. And it becomes, because remember, at the initial beginning, everything's about the issue, but it becomes personal somewhere in that conversation that you're having. It can become very personal. Now it becomes about the person they're speaking to versus the original issue.
Yeah.
You come into a situation and you're not positive, you're not happy, you're not being concerned with the situation. Now it becomes like they're against you, not the situation. So it almost flips. I mean, there's been so many times where I've had somebody who works for me who goes in at the wrong attitude, and the person became so enraged with them that it almost didn't matter what was going on with the original issue. It became about the person who was helping them. Once that person's removed, the situation completely changed. It became more, let's go back to the issue.
Yeah.
So you're right. Going in with the right attitude and the right body language and everything just makes a world of difference.
if you're in customer service and you don't believe me, try it.
Yeah.
That old verbiage, kill them with kindness.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Not
it's
sarcastic kindness.
yeah, no, it's got. I mean, it's genuine kindness.
Not like have a
If you
great day, as you really mean F you, you know.
they
No.
can see right. The jerky jerk will see right through that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Assertiveness. When dealing with customers, you want to be able to take control of the situation, do what you need to do in an effective manner. Um, if you're meek or passive, I think that's when customers won't have faith in you. Um, However, you also don't want to be aggressive and demanding that will make the customer offended. Again, there's a difference of being confident and arrogant. That's my biggest flaw. If when you get into your evaluations with your company and your bosses, and they say, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? My biggest weakness, and I will always say it, I will always throw it out there and wear it on my shoulder, so to speak. I am very confident. I I I'm confident, but a lot of times my confidence comes off as arrogant,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Me
have
too.
my wife has been a blessing because she has definitely shown me the certain situations where that cockiness, where that arrogance has come through rather than being confident and knowing that and I have to really back off sometimes, and it's that's my biggest flaw. If anything I had, it's a big flaw for me. So
Yeah. Well, what I'm learning is I know I'm always right, but everyone else doesn't have to know that I'm always right. It's okay.
and that's exactly, I mean, that's right. Conflict resolution. Okay. I think that's,
Like, I let
leading.
Becky think that she's right a lot of times when I know I'm right, but it's okay. Happy spouse, happy house.
Happy spouse, happy house. That is right.
No, and yeah, I mean it's good to be confident, but it's also you have to be compassionate and you have to be willing to listen, and that's part of the communication, the whole thing that we've been going through here, you know. But it's all the best about communicating is if you can get the customer to agree with what you're saying without them even realizing they're doing it. Like you get them to turn around and tell you what you've been telling them, that's what they want. Now they're telling you it. Now they're saying it to you. You're not saying it to them anymore. So that's little tactics
There you
there.
go. Right. Conflict. That, and there you go. You resolved the conflict. An
Yeah.
essential. It is essential when working customer service to be able to deal with so many customers who have problems that need to be solved, and it's important for you to creatively solve that problem. Like you just said, I'm going to turn it around for you to say it back to me. Oh yeah, exactly, that's what we're at. And you have to make sure you understand their problems clearly, and offer realistic solutions.
Yeah.
You can't come off with, I mean, they're going to come to you and I want a year free on my phone bill, and you're going to give me all of these things. Those aren't realistic solutions. Let's figure it out. Let's see what we can give you. Think
Ask them.
creatively.
Ask them. What do you think is fair?
Yeah.
Not. Come on. You can say it like, what do you think is fair? Because most of the time, sometimes what they're saying, yeah, they know that's not fair.
Right. And as customers come to you, you can read them. If you're in customer service, you can read them and you can say, okay, this specific customer, this is going to fit your need. This is what we're going to give you for a solution. It's not always going to be the same for every customer that's going to make them happy. So you have to be creative in this. You have to
Very
look at it and
flexible.
go, okay, this is what is going to meet this person's needs. However, Jane over here, that doesn't fit what Jill, we gave Jill what she needed, but that's not going to fit what Jane needs. So you have to creatively solve that problem.
I think that's the hardest part too, when you have people who are working for you, who you give them policies and procedures, you tell them your job is to follow these policies and procedures, Well, they a lot of times want to follow that to the T. They see it as black and white. They don't see the gray in between. But that's where you have supervisors and managers who have that experience to do that and to see the gray and to see that, like what you said, what's the solution for Jill might not be the solution for Jack. So, Jill might be okay with this and Jack might need a lot more.
Yeah.
You just don't know. So, but that's where that's what experience comes into play, and learning how to communicate and learning how to read people and see what, and that's where asking them, what do you think is going to be fair? Because you might think they're demanding the world before they've even demanded the world, that, oh, this person's going to just want everything. But if you ask them, then maybe they don't,
Yeah. I think the biggest thing on conflict resolution too is that you follow up with somebody. If you can't find it, first off, if you can't find the help them find what they need. Let's find, I don't have the answers, but I'll sure find the answers for you. Or I don't know what we can do, but let me go ask my boss. Let's see what we can do. But following up after the problem or it's been resolved, I think the follow up is a big key. Like, we'll go back to your U-Haul situation. Had they just said, hey, you know what? This is not what's going on. This is not what we do, but we're going to make the exception to the rule for you this time. But understand, you come back to us again. This is how we do things here. And then
they pretty much came at me like, well, we don't really need your business anyway. And so that's when it became a challenge for me to take it to then it became like more vindictive for me. I was like, I am going to get this approved. And then I'm going to say, no, thank you. That was my goal. Literally, that was my goal. And I succeeded at it. And I said, no, thank you. And then they lost a customer for life.
Yeah.
Because they were just arrogant from the beginning. So like you said, like the way they communicated to me, the way they came at me was completely wrong.
Yeah.
They were very arrogant about like who cares what you want, like we don't care that you're the customer.
I've found that if I can come back and try to resolve something for somebody, even if I didn't get the problem resolved to the best of what they wanted, I have always tried to follow up with that customer and say, hey, how are things? Hopefully we did that. I think, to me, if I'm the customer, I appreciate that a lot more than I honestly appreciate that a lot more than if the problem was resolved. Because there are some problems that just can't get resolved and it just happens. But to know that they truly, genuinely cared and said, hey, we're going to try to fix it. And then followed up by, hey, did everything, I know things didn't meet your, satisfactory needs, but, we just want to make sure that, that we sure tried. And, we're going to try to make this better. I think that's huge.
Yeah, but also too, I think that customers have to do their due diligence to understand the business they're doing business with. So you're buying something from somewhere. So like on Amazon, like, can I return it? No ship, no free of charge. Like, and I know, like, okay, if it's sold by Amazon and I look at the returns, it's free of charge, no matter what the reason is. Cool. If it's third party, they might charge you. You're like, why are they going to charge me? Blah, blah, blah. Well, do your due diligence. You got to read what the return policy is. Or you're going to a restaurant, read what's included with the meal, because not always are the sides included,
Yep.
or whatever. Are there free refills or are there not free? I'm so pissed they didn't give me free refills. Did it state anywhere that they gave you free refills? No, it didn't. Okay, so you don't get the free refill because it doesn't state that you get it.
Right.
So you got to do your due diligence too as a customer. You can't just get mad at people because of your lack of information because you didn't inform yourself, and vice versa. The business needs to inform the customer, have a very easy to read policy or menu or whatever the case is. It's got to do its part too, but both sides have to do their part.
Yeah. Depersonalization. While you should be friendly to customers, remember, you're not there to share your life story either. I think a lot of times when you're trying, a customer comes in and says, I have a problem. You go, oh yeah. I had the same problem and this was going on. Sometimes you just don't need to do that. A simple, I understand, or I know how you feel goes a long way, and they appreciate it. Stay focused on helping them. Don't make their problem a part, your problem type. wait, that's wrong. Just don't don't bring your personal stuff into it. Just make sure that you focus on them and stay focused on them, because they don't want to hear your life story and how this problem. On the flip side of that too, I still think there are some of those people you can read and go, yeah, I'm going to get to them if I say, here's what's going on.
Yeah, but even understanding where they're coming from and just acknowledging that, even though you're not going to be able to do what they want you to do, acknowledging their feelings and acknowledging why they feel that way, or whatever the case is. I understand why you're mad. I get it. I totally get it. But this is what we can do, or this is what we can't do for you. Whatever. You never say what we can't do, but you say this is what we can do for you in this regard. This is why. But you got to acknowledge them, because maybe they're wrong. They were wrong. They didn't know that it didn't come with this. They didn't know that they had to assemble it, or whatever the case is. They thought a case of beer was 12 and it's 16 or whatever it is. They didn't know it was a suitcase. It was 24. Yeah. So, but whatever the case is, they made a mistake. So you got to, man, I understand that you thought you were getting this. I wish I could give it to you for that. I wish I could give you this suitcase for the price of a case, or whatever. But, come on, we got to be reasonable here, Yeah. But you're acknowledging their feelings. You're not just saying, you're an idiot. You didn't read the instructions. Why didn't you read the description? Why didn't you do that? But not everybody does that, especially in this day and age. They see a price, they see a picture, and they're like, Yeah. So they don't see the details of it. But you don't want to call them out on it, so you got to be compassionate.
Yep. Take responsibility.
I mean, we've all made mistakes, right?
Yep.
Doesn't mean I'm going to get my way if I make a mistake, but we've all made mistakes.
Yep. And we're human. It's part of it.
Yeah.
Customer service is huge. And the reason I brought this up, customer service wise, is because I work in the industry. I've seen it get really bad at times, and people get super frustrated with the supply and demand. And I hope people can be a little bit more compassionate to the people that you're dealing with. You as a customer you have to realize that it is tough right now out there for the people that are working. Some people are working 2-3 jobs just to make ends meet. Some people are working double shifts because no one wants to work, and it's all they can do to keep the business. Because, let's face it, if they don't work that double shift, then the business doesn't stay open, and then they don't even have a job. And it's be kind, be compassionate to those people. And, customer service, if you've never been a part of it, it's hard to understand some of those things, but and
remember this, in most cases, not all, because sometimes you're dealing with owners of businesses and stuff like that. When you go to, Applebee's or you go to Target or you go to Walmart, that person helping you did not make the rules.
Correct.
So as long as they're being nice and kind to you, don't blame them for the company's policies, because trust me, they didn't make them. Even the manager in charge of that facility didn't make those rules. It's somebody else somewhere in the corporate place that made them, probably. So don't be mad because your hamburger only comes with 2 pickles. Well, they were instructed to make it that way. You wanted 3? Sorry, you got 2. That's the way that's how the cost came out. They figured out the food cost. You get 2 pickles with your burger. That's it. You don't get 3. So don't be mad at them.
And understand, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but we have seen an influx of prices go up. Gas.
You know the price of meat right now?
I mean, I know some people,
about gas. I live in California.
I know, right? But
LA, it's $5.80.
Oh, it's $3.87 right now here.
I have a gas station that I'll go to because it's $3.99, but I pay 35 cents because it's ARCO. So you pay 35 cents to fill up, because if you use a card. If you pay cash, you don't pay anything.
Yeah.
$3.99, that's cheap over here. That's like dirt cheap.
One thing that blows my mind about this whole price increase and everything is that there are places that have always had high priced items, aka Starbucks. their coffees are ridiculously expensive compared to your mom and pop coffee shops, who I think do a better job because they make it with love, and that's what you should do.
Yeah.
There are some really good Starbucks people out there too, though. But it's amazing that people will pay those ridiculous prices for Starbucks coffees, but then when they go to mom and pop's hamburger joint, and you used to be able to get a burger and fries for like $6-7, and now it's like 12, they're going, wait, what? And like you said, like the price of meat has tripled. The lobster, you used to be able to get like a pound of lobster. I'm shooting out of the dark here, but like a pound of lobster for 40-50 bucks, and now it's 95 from your wholesaler per, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, be kind.
When those prices go up, that means everything it's like when fuel goes up, airline ticket prices go up. It's just a fact of life.
Got to
Meat
pay
costs
for
go
that
up,
fuel.
restaurants have to increase their price because food costs have gone up. Yeah, I was sticker shocked when I went to Costco this last time, and all I bought, because I did keto for the last 2 weeks, is I bought meat and some vegetables. I couldn't believe the price of beef. Pork was still reasonable, but in California, pork's gonna get out of control because they just passed a new law, and there's only gonna be 3 vendors of pork, and so pork's gonna just skyrocket. But it's just crazy, the prices. But you know what? There's some sort of supply and demand issue, and that's the way it
Yeah,
is. And we cause that, and we have to live with that. And that's just what it is.
that's just what it is. Okay, we did all this serious stuff. Now I want to pull in. I'm gonna wrap this up. Not really wrap it up, but I'm gonna shift focuses with customer service and Walt Disneyland and World. What have you seen? What have you heard? What has changed? Um, do you feel like the customer service is still there at Disneyland? You still feel like they're still just giving you everything that you can have?
I believe the cast members are they're awesome. I mean, a place where, yeah, can you run into a bad experience every once in a while? Yeah,
Yeah.
but for the most part, no. I mean, almost everybody working there is awesome. I mean, they're really trying their best to do it, to do what's right, to give you a magical moment. Every once in a while, something slips through the cracks, somebody has a bad day or whatever, but usually it's great. So I mean, I'm not going to say, I can't say anything really bad. Have I had a bad experience? Of course, but everyone, you got back then, you had 30,000 employees or whatever it is. I mean, yeah, you're going to run into some, but the majority of them there are there to they really seem to enjoy what they're doing, or at least they act like it, and they want to help you. And when they do have to tell you to move on or this and that, it's because of safety concerns, or you're blocking a walkway and you're trying to watch a parade where you shouldn't be watching it, and they have to tell you to move on. They're not trying to be a jerk. It's their job to get you to move on. And people don't listen, and they might have to say it a little louder or something. I don't know, but for the most part, it's always been great there. Now I'm curious to see how Walt Disney World is. I don't know if Walt Disney World's the same as Disneyland, because Disneyland, it's more intimate, and it really seems like the employees, the cast members, really go out of their way. So I'm curious to see what Walt Disney World is this Wednesday or Thursday when we go to Walt Disney World for the first time, to see if it's the same type of environment as Disneyland, or is it going to be different because it's just so much larger and they're catering more to a touristy type of place than locals.
Well, now, okay, so now I'm going to go on. Have you seen some of the fights breaking out and some of the things that go on at Walt Disney? Do you feel like there's more at Walt Disney World than there has been at Disneyland? Is there a reason why?
I really don't see any fights there, so I don't know. Like, I saw the one fight in Toontown like years back.
Right.
I see fights at Knott's Berry Farm, but I don't see really necessarily fights in Walt Disney World. Or, I mean, maybe you better to answer that if you've seen some.
I've seen a few videos where as of late there's been some people that were really upset with some things and shove people and do that thing. And
well, I think the only fights that I've seen is more regarding like a mask, which is stupid. Like I said, as a customer, you have to do your due diligence. When I go on an airline, I know what I'm allowed to check in and what I'm allowed to take on the plane. And if I don't then they're going to take it from me and they're not going to let me go on the plane. I have no right to
Yeah.
get pissed because I didn't do my due diligence and to read how I'm supposed to travel. So if I'm going to an amusement park like Universal Studios down here, you have to be vaccinated or you have to have a negative COVID test within 72 hours, or otherwise you can't go in. You should know that. I mean, that's doing your due diligence.
Yeah.
And if you already bought a ticket, I guarantee you they sent you an email.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to Disneyland and you're supposed to wear a mask, then don't buy a ticket if you don't want to go. Otherwise, you got to follow the rules. The rules are the rules. As Juan would say, them the rules.
Them the rules. I've been
You know?
drinking Bud Light Seltzer Pumpkin Spice. It's it's called the Flannel Pack.
How is the pumpkin spice for a seltzer?
It's okay. So there's some flavors in this flannel pack: maple pear, toasted marshmallow, pumpkin spice, and then they had this in the ugly sweater pack, but they brought apple crisp into the fall pack, and they look like flannel shirts. They call it the flannel pack.
I think apple crisp would be a good seltzer.
Apple crisp is one of my favorites. It reminded me of Marie Callender's apple pie. Super awesome. The pumpkin spice one, I like pumpkin spice, not a ton, but I do like them. I do like pumpkin spice stuff. I don't know if I would be able to drink the pumpkin spice all the time just because it's got so much sweet in it.
Yeah.
But I think the people that love pumpkin spice all the time, this is right up their alley.
Yeah.
The other two are a little different too. Yeah, I don't know. It's different for sure, but I enjoy them. I like this. This apple crisp was one of my favorites, but.
So what do you think? Like these people and I think it's happening more in Florida when it comes to fighting over masks and stuff like that because of the way the state is run versus California, where everyone just kind of knows here's the expectation. And maybe people don't realize that there, but again, you got to do your due diligence, I think. But I think every company has a right to do what they want to do when it comes to that. We might differ on that opinion. I don't know, but
sorry, I was laughing at one of Juan's comments on the Photoshop thing. Yeah, no, I got mine, Juan. I'm good. Don't worry. This is one thing that I'm
allowed to say. Weren't companies allowed to say no shirt, no shoes, no service?
Yeah.
So no shirt, no shoes, no mask, no service. They can say that too, right?
Oh yeah. I think so. But there comes a point in time when you have to just not be idiotic, like you said, you know that if you're going to in your guys' state, you go to anywhere indoors, you have to have a mask.
Yeah.
You don't get around that. Whether you like it or not, you don't get around it. You don't like it, don't go.
And where we're going, you have to have a mask indoors. Florida,
right. And it's World. I am the one person that fights the mask thing everywhere I go. But if you ask me if I have to wear a mask, then I put the mask on. I mean, it is what it is. I don't like it any more than anybody else does. I mean, but that's what they're asking us to do.
Yeah.
So
I only wear a mask where I'm required to wear one, and I'm not anti-mask. I like them. Right. I don't mind the mask. So I believe it kept me safe many times, and I didn't get sick that year. So I mean, I believe there's benefits to it, but I don't like wearing it all the time. So when I'm outdoors, I don't wear it. In Orange County, you don't have to wear it indoors. I don't wear it indoors. Yeah. I'm vaccinated. I've already had COVID. I feel very safe. But if an establishment says you want to come in here, you got to wear a mask. If I want to go in there, I'm going to wear a mask. And if I don't, I'm not going to challenge them. They own the business. They're running it. That's their prerogative. They can do what they want. It's not a protected class.
Right. Did you guys get Magic Bands?
We did, but they messed up on our so the rarest thing happened to us. I don't even know where I put it. I put it on I have everything. I don't know if you can see. I have everything on this little counter right back here. That's electronic that I'm ready for packing all my camera gear and stuff like that. But I put my Magic Band over there. Somehow my account duplicated, and I have 2 Walt Disney World accounts under the same email address with the same password. My tickets are linked to both accounts. The guy at Walt Disney World was like, "It happens all the time, so it's not your fault." I was like, "Well, if you guys know it happens all the time, fix it." But he basically said I can send you to tech, and they have a 2-hour, 30-minute wait right now. He's looking at it. Or when you get there to the park, just go to will call. They'll give you a paper ticket for that day, and they'll correct the issue right away. I said, I'll go to will call.
Go to will call.
So my Magic Band, and my Magic Band might still work because it's one of my accounts shows my ticket, and my Magic Band's tied to it. But on my app on the phone, when I try to link my Magic Band to the app on the phone, it tells me it's linked to another account because I've accessed my account from my computer and my app. And so somehow Walt Disney World duplicated my account into 2 accounts with the same exact information.
Oh,
but he says, it's not your fault. He goes, it happens all the time. I was like, okay, well, I mean, if it's a known issue, basically.
Yeah.
So if I would have linked it to my app first, then I wouldn't have any issues. I still think it might work, but either way, he said it's a simple fix. He goes, everyone's aware of it. They know how to fix it. It's done. I mean, I have my barcode, so I can get a paper ticket if I need to. Whatever.
Right. We were going back and forth between Magic Bands, and so I decided to I pulled the trigger on just a plain one, and so I have my Apple Watch. I don't want to wear 2 bracelets or whatever you want to go, so I bought a little holder. It's going to go on my watch, and then I'll just take the little fob out of the band and put it in there, so it's there. The boys, however, they don't have watches like that, so they're going to get a special one, and I think Carrie's going to get a special one as well too. She wants to do that.
So one thing though with the Magic Band that I was misunderstood was I thought with the Magic Band I could pay for everything with my Magic Band.
Only if you're in a Walt Disney World Resort hotel or a resort. You have to be a part of that because basically it takes it and charges it to your room. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, that's dumb.
Yeah.
It could charge my card.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to charge your card anyway. Right. I mean, link it to the app, link it to my account. The Magic Band is linked to my account where my credit card is linked to. Bam, charge my card.
That's one thing that I'm super confused about. It goes back to that one line from Men in Black, unlimited technology, and we drive around in a Ford POS. They have all this technology and they can do this, and you seriously can't link the band to the Disney account, where, like you said, which has got your card.
But it's a way to encourage people to stay at the resort, to feel like they're getting more for their money. But in reality, they would make a ton more money if everybody can just go click, click.
Well,
click.
Disney Corporation, corporate. I'll come figure this out for you. Pay me, sign me up, and we'll figure this out, and things will just go like so smooth. Okay.
I mean, obviously, they got top-notch engineers that can do this. They need Michael on the team though, because he can direct those engineers.
Engineers to do it, right? I talked to the engineers so you guys don't have to.
Yeah, it's So I was kind of disappointed in that. I was kind of like, well, why did I even get a Magic Band?
So the Magic Band, I think, is going to be okay. So I've read some positives and some negatives. I've heard that the Magic Band, when you go try to, so you can do all your Fast Pass stuff. It's not Genie Plus.
There's no Genie Plus when we're there, except for the 19th.
19, yeah. So it's like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So let's
our last day is Tuesday. I'm drinking around the world. I'm not getting on rides.
Right.
I might, if I can't get on Ratatouille the first time we're going to Epcot, then I'll be buying the Lightning Lane for Ratatouille the second time.
Which is awesome that I do like that, because I think a lot of the big rides that we would like to make sure we get on are a separate, you don't have to buy the Genie Plus to get on there to be able to ride the Lightning Line, which is really cool.
The problem is Genie Plus in Florida is $15.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
The price for single admission is $7 to $15. Ratatouille is going to be $15 because it's the newest ride.
No, Ratatouille will be $7. No, $11.
No,
11. It's 11. It's the day we're there, Tuesday, it's 11. And then on
buy
Saturday,
it already?
Yeah, and then on Saturday it's 15.
Wait, so I can go online right now and I can buy
No, they showed pricing. Pricing is going to be 5, 7, 11, and 15, and then they're raising Ratatouille to 15 on the weekend.
Okay, so the weekdays is cheaper because they know they won't get as
You
much
know what?
pay.
I don't know the specifics on that. If the weekdays is going to be cheaper and then the weekend is going to be more expensive, or they're just going to after the
Yeah,
initial, they're going to pop it up and just leave it
pop it
there.
up. And Juan, you can buy the Lightning Lane for Tuesday if you want, but I'm going to be spending most of my time in World Showcase because of food and wine. I want to do food and wine and drinking around the world. So that Tuesday is really designed for enjoying company of our friends and drinking. If anybody wants to split off and go on rides, that's fine. But I do guarantee this: if I don't get on Ratatouille the first, which is Friday, this Friday, if I can't get on Ratatouille, if I can't secure a boarding pass for Ratatouille this Friday, then next Tuesday I will buy the Lightning Lane pass for it.
And I think I'm customer service. I'm a little frustrated that they're doing it on a Tuesday. I don't understand that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it'll benefit some people who are there middle of the week, but
Yeah.
for us, it's just unfortunate. It's not their fault. It's not our fault. It's just the
Right.
timing is off. We're
Right.
going to
Exactly.
be there just a little bit earlier than Genie Plus, which might be a benefit because if the parks are not busy and there is no fast pass, because we know typically fast pass lines slow down the regular line.
Right.
So if there is no fast pass line, the lines might just be moving quick enough where I don't have to worry about it.
Yaya
You know?
says that it's good right now. I'm gonna cross my fingers and knock on wood that it continues to stay like that. But I've been talking to him the last few days, and
Yeah.
he says it's pretty good.
So I know like Magic Kingdom, like I want to get on Seven Dwarfs, so I know I'll wait an hour for that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But the other rides, I'm pretty sure are not going to be that long of a wait.
Right. And we've been watching times, and I have seen times the last week steadily decrease, and not by like a ton. So we're like talking like, okay, it used to be 45 minutes. We're now sitting at a 35-minute window. So it's
We're
coming.
going at an in between time.
Yeah.
You know,
I think
50th already happened. It just was already initially like the first wave of people for the 50th happened, and then Halloween is after we leave. So we
yeah.
got that perfect in between time.
Well, hello, Becky. How are you? She's on the stream from
Oh my
Facebook.
goodness, from Facebook.
Yep. All the way from Facebook land. It's working, I guess.
Yeah.
Facebook is. So you guys just have a couple more days. Oh man, 48 hours.
I know
Oh,
I got to get to bed here because I got to go to work early, then finish packing tomorrow, and then get on a flight.
get on the flight. What time do you guys fly out? 6 in the morning?
Our flight is at 8:30, so we're gonna leave our house by 6. Take a half-hour drive to the airport, and be at the airport 2 hours early. Just it's LAX, so you never know what's gonna happen with LAX. So it's always good to be early. We're there early. Grab a bite to eat. I was gonna say grab a drink, but maybe it's gonna be 7 in the morning, but I don't know.
Yeah. I'm super excited. I got to work today and it was like, I already have the early outs. I want to go. I want to get on the plane and go now.
Yeah, already seeing Yaya there just kind of makes me like, I just want to be there already.
I know,
And
right?
I got like one more day, and my day got a little bit long for tomorrow, longer than I wanted for tomorrow, because some things that are going on, and it's like fine. I'm like fine. I'll be away for 2 weeks. I'm good. I'll do it.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing. Like I know that my week's gonna kind of be jam packed this week to get to that initial thing, but I know once if I just put the time in now, everything will be good and go smooth. I'll get, yeah. I this time I think I'm checking out. I have to, and I need that.
Yeah.
I need that checkout. My guys are good though. My guys are good.
People, yeah, I told my people. I said, if you need to, you can text me. Don't call me. Because it's going to be a loud environment, a theme park. I go, you text me, and if I'll respond as soon as I can get a chance. I go, but I gave them support from around the area and stuff that they can get. And, but it's going to be crazy. And I don't care how much sleep I get tomorrow because I can sleep on the plane. It don't matter. So
5-hour flight for you guys?
Yeah, 5-hour flight. And, just 5 hours. Not a big deal. I downloaded from Netflix the 8th season of The Blacklist. So I got my shows lined up and ready to go. Got my little mini tripod ready for the tray table, and my phone will be right there. I'll be able to put my earbuds in and watch away.
Boom and go. I watched Ted Lasso. Binge watched the first season yesterday. Carrie's probably, she said go to bed. I had to finally go to bed. I get stuck on those Watched the Squid Game. That was weird.
Yeah, we're on episode 4 or 5 now. So yeah, it's gotten a little weird, and it's different. So I'm watching it to see what's going on. Okay, Ted Lasso. I haven't seen that.
It's on Apple TV.
Oh,
So
I don't have Apple TV.
yeah, you might not be able to get that. I don't know if it comes out super funny. He got a ton of Emmys, and some people were telling me about it. I'm like, okay, let me try it.
Yeah.
We'll see. So, hey, well, thanks for coming on. I hope I did good on your podcast format. It's been a long time since I've done something like that, and I missed my partner in crime. She's been working. She worked 16 days straight, and she is tired. I can't thank her enough for supporting our family and doing everything that she does for us, and busting her tail to make sure we have good things, have fun, and do all that. So she got excused from the stream tonight because she's beat. She needed some rest, and I don't want her to be burnt out by the time we get to the trip and not have fun. So
yeah.
I did miss her. She makes this stream so much better. She pulls it together. You know, when I first started, it was fun, and then I pulled in Tony, and it was a good dynamic. Not that, you know, either one is better. They both have their uniqueness to make each of the shows, you know, great. But it's hard to not have her now.
Yeah.
Next gen. I think you probably feel the same. You know, even though Becky always interrupts you, she makes a big deal on that stream. You know, so
yeah, for sure.
It pulls in things. So
there's a balance there that, you know, you don't have without them.
Yep, absolutely. So again, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Midlife Vibes in the house. Please check them out there on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, MySpace, all of those things in between. They have super awesome stuff. They have theme parks. They have adventures. Thank you all that came on. I appreciate you supporting our channel and hope you enjoy all that stuff. We are also on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Make sure that you subscribe, you like, and you hit that notification bell so you don't miss any more timeouts moving on. And with that, this timeout is over.